face.
So,
Oh god, no. I don't know. Try to capture as
HD
large
collection
as
of-
possible. Then I don't know.
Just turn his field of view up. Or sit down.
Turn his field of view up. Okay.
I don't even know what that
This is a game. Just type in CG_FOV and just set it to like 95.
God,
Hey, listen, my
I'd like to
camera's
see that.
perfect. Everything looks fine on my
this
Twitch
is
screen.
kind of okay.
Well, your camera is not non-existent, so...
I know. It's the same thing about my voice. It's perfect because it's not there.
Well, it's there now, so...
That's looking good.
Has anybody... can anybody just check if we've got any sort of, like, echo from anybody?
Echo.
Oh god, I don't want to test that.
I'm listening now.
'cause,
I'm listening now.
So how can we tell how many people are watching now? As
Nobody.
opposed to...
I can tell nobody's watching.
They sound good. It sounds good on my end, Roger.
Cool, okay.
That sounds fine to me.
Your voice sounds better on stream than it does on Skype.
Me?
Mine sounds worse.
Oh, sweet. Do I sound less pretentious or more? Or more?
No.
Always more.
It enhances
your
you,
voice,
so you're
your
more
voice
pretentious.
sounds just as bad. There should be a little viewer count number,
Yeah,
but it hasn't shown up yet.
Yeah,
Oh, God.
so basically you have eyes are the amount of people who have watched it overall, then there's little logos of like people, and then those are the people who are watching it now, and then you have people who are following it, which is the last thing.
I can only see
Yeah.
total and followers.
Yeah,
Do I have to be logged in?
it'll show. No, it takes a minute to show up sometimes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Either that or you're just non-people.
Minus people.
So,
Ow.
You have to be a premium member. There we go. Now it says 3 for
Yeah,
me.
3.
cool.
So that's Raju, Cameron, and some random person. Wait,
I
I mean, I'm here.
It might be you,
I'm
Chris.
you probably.
I'm there.
I'm here. I'm in chat.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
that's-
I'm not there. So
Oh, okay. Whatever. Cat's face.
Someone might not be logged in. Whatever, it doesn't matter.
Well,
right,
let's
so
fill it out.
let's start. So, hey everyone, this is episode 4 of Artificial Fun. We finally have a logo, thanks to Chris.
Yeah.
It's the previous logo that we had for our I guess you could say the news blogging website that we did a while back, which was a smaller project that we had going. But we've repurposed it, and it looks just as good as ever, I think. What do you guys think about it? Not a topic of the show, just want to know.
I think it's great, and whoever made it is clearly some sort of design
Genius.
Wizard. Wizard. You're a wizard.
Yeah,
You're a
yeah.
wizard, Chris.
You're a wizard, Chris. Yeah.
Yes. Chris Potter,
I'm a-
the lesser known of the brothers.
I agree. Chris is a wizard.
Well, I don't know. Like, there's Gary Potter.
Gary
They don't like to
Potter.
talk. They don't like to
Harry-
talk about him.
Did Harry Potter have siblings in the books? Is that one of those things that got changed?
No.
No.
No, I don't think so. I think he had
Okay.
he had a cousin, which is Dudley. Fat ass.
Oh, yeah.
That's-
Yeah, well,
that's-
Dudley,
Who-
he was in the movies. I didn't like him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was an ass.
Wait,
Although I
no,
think
like-
later on, wasn't he not a douche later on?
No. He becomes more and more of a douche. He
Because-
just becomes
More of a douche.
By the end, he's a little nicer.
What about
In
the...
the last scene or something, he's alright because he knows that Harry Potter's just saved the fucking world.
Oh no! Wait! Because by the, if I remember, like by the end, weren't they all scared?
Yeah, because Dudley
When
almost
they were
gets
ultra
killed.
scared of him, so they weren't even dicks.
Yeah, they
because-
weren't dicks to him.
Well, at that
They
point, he
were
nearly
just-
accidentally murdered every one of them by some way.
Well, at this point, they know
Yeah.
that he's being chased by pretty much every
Yeah.
single wizard and witch on the planet.
If you think about it, for them, Harry Potter is basically the Omen. So
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that sums it up.
I had to shout to get my dog's attention. I thought my mic was muted.
okay.
I didn't even.
He's kind of quiet.
Oh yeah. So did you hear about that theory about why they're so horrible? Like why his family's so terrible?
No.
It's all
Okay.
deep.
So in the books, right, and maybe in the movies as well,
Sure.
they say how if a Horcrux is around someone, right,
Mhm.
because it's so evil, it corrupts everything around it and makes it all terrible. And
Harry
spoilers
is-
for
yeah, obviously.
something everyone in the entire world knows.
Yeah, but
but
Harry's the final.
He's been hanging out with them this whole time. So,
Since
you
he was
know.
a baby, yeah.
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 So which means that over like 16 years he's been corrupting their entire family.
I
So
guess.
it's all
So
his
it's
fault,
his fault
really.
they're assholes. So
I don't know. I think like
That's a
there's a
theory.
lot of those theories about that
Yeah.
particular series, so I try to just ignore them. If it's
Yeah,
not
it's probably
told,
the
if it's
best.
not like given to me, I don't assume anything anymore.
Unfortunately, the lore is not as deep as Tolkien's or anything, so it's not like you can actually like go too far into it anyway. So
Well, yeah. Well,
Yeah.
Tolkien has a not encyclopedia,
in
but
he has the Silmarillion, he has the
Well,
unfinished
appendix.
tales. And,
Yeah, if Silmarillion has an appendix of
Yeah.
freaking of lore.
So,
Yeah.
I want to get all those. I've got them all in my Amazon wish list. Hint, hint.
Yeah.
But no, I've got them all there, so I want to buy them at some point and just have like a full collection of like all of those things. I don't know if I'll actually be able to read the Silmarillion like as a book.
Well, it's
Because
not
browse
something
through
you
it.
read.
yeah, it's just more of a something to refer to, but yeah.
Kind of.
I've
I'm,
looked at.
I'm
It's
about,
like the Bible. No one reads it.
well,
If you're
I
really
mean,
I don't
into
know.
it, you
it's
can get
something-
into it.
Well, I mean,
I
I've
think
been
anybody
reading some
who
of the
actually
lore-
buys it.
I've been reading some of the lore snippets in I've been playing Shadow of Mordor, and it's been sort of pushing me to wanting to like read more into some of the stories that they like sort of.
If you're genuinely interested in the lore, then you can probably sit there and read some of it.
Probably. It's quite dry. Like, some of the
Yeah.
things, it's like the way they describe them, they're cool, but they describe them in a very detached way. So it's like something awesome happened and it was like this, but it doesn't actually describe it, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I get it. It's basically it's more of a history textbook than it is.
Yeah, like, you know when the Bible's just like, and then they raised the city and there was much lamenting or whatever,
Yeah.
it's like that
Yeah.
with elves. So, yeah.
Yeah, no. I mean, like, I was actually about to say that. Like, I've been reading it recently, the Bible, and
Now that's got a lot of lore.
That's
does,
got a
yeah.
lot of lore. And like, no, it's like
It even has fan fiction, so.
some of the parts I was talking to some of my friends is so dry when it's just like, and their sons were blah 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 blah
And then
blah.
the third cousin or the
Three-
fifth uncle,
yeah, exactly. You get like 3 pages in, you're sort of like,
and then the
They
Israelites
have
and the Canaanites
really
and the
big
Mesopotamians and
They
the
have
Greeks and the
really
Romans.
big families, and they didn't believe in contraception. So you're like, there's a lot there. So anyway,
What's our first topic?
oh yeah, so
Oh yeah, games.
Video games.
we wanted to. We didn't there. So again, this week has been not too busy with stuff.
A little slow.
It's been been a little slow, but there are a few things. Zelda has its release date moved to beyond 2015, so that's a pretty big deal for the Nintendo community. So we're going to talk about that. Bloodborne was released over this week, so on the 25th for the US and the rest of the world, and 27th for the UK and Europe. So me and Chris got our hands on that yesterday, and we were playing that like all night. So we will have some first impressions of that. We have a couple of articles we wanted to go over. So Halo Online has been released on PC for free, but
Sorry,
only
what?
in Russia.
Oh,
So we will talk about that. Xbox there's been some calculations on Xbox One energy consumptions, which is kind of a little bit of a small topic that we might do later on, but basically talking about how their standby mode consumes a huge amount of energy and people have calculated that it consumes well over $250 million a year in energy.
Per household. Yeah.
Not for all Xbox users overall in
Okay,
totality. So we may go on to that. Chris, I don't know if you had any topics, or if Cameron or Matt, you had.
I had a
any topics
few.
that you
I'll
wanted to
bring
go
them up when we get there.
I was just going to talk briefly about Killing Floor because there was a
Killing
half
Floor,
hour
all
of
that
gameplay
stuff,
footage
yeah.
released.
Sure.
That was
Okay, go
pretty
on.
much all I was gonna.
And we wanted to also talk a little bit about Pillars of Eternity.
That'll be me because I care about it.
Yeah, and apparently no one else in this team actually cares about it, so Chris will be informing on this.
I don't even know what it is.
Well, you will find out.
Yay! Learn.
I have
thing.
charts and presentations. So
So
God. I've had
Zelda,
enough
it won't be releasing in 2015.
oh my god.
It's I was pretty. I mean, like, not shocked about this because Nintendo do this with pretty much every Zelda game
Yeah,
ever.
I mean,
But
Delays are
been-
nothing new.
yeah, I've been playing Legend of Zelda for a while. If you don't remember Twilight Princess, then this is like they just needed to say it. Really, that's the only step in this process that's new to anybody.
Yeah.
It's Zelda games get delayed, and sometimes they get delayed again and again, and
again.
even Ocarina of Time got delayed loads until it finally came out. It's just, I'm not surprised remotely. The E3 thing surprises me a little bit because that is a really big hitter that they're holding back. But otherwise, yeah, I'm not surprised that something this big is getting delayed, especially after Skyward Sword.
well,
Yeah.
what happened with Skyward Sword?
It was just a bit divisive, really. Like, if people liked it, it got good reviews, but
It wasn't the best game.
There were.
yeah,
It
I'd
seems
say
like
it's the weakest 3D Zelda, honestly.
Was
everyone
Skyward,
I've talked
was
to
Skyward
either
Sword
loves
the
it or
one
hates
with
it.
was Skyward Sword the one with the wolf, or was that
Motion
Twilight
control.
Princess?
It was.
That was
That's
Twilight Princess.
That's Twilight
Princess.
Princess.
This was the Motion Plus one with the
With
The arrow.
flying around
With
in
the
the
Motion
sky.
Plus, and that's about it, really.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, no, because I was thinking, like, this is something I was thinking about, was with Zelda games, have they in the past, the thing is, obviously, because the only two Zelda games that I've played so far have been Ocarina of Time 3D
Yeah.
and Majora's Mask 3D. So,
Which is very new to this.
So I'm really new to this. So tell me about, like, in the past, because I know in the past, historically, they've always postponed games in terms of release dates. But have they been perfect when they get released, or are they still buggy? In terms of that's something that some people have been saying, is that every time a Zelda game comes out, even though they do get delayed or whatever, they come out and they're pretty much
They're pretty good.
There's no
They're
bugs.
pretty much
Yeah, they're
perfect.
pretty tight. I mean, most bugs
There's-
that do happen are quite notorious. Like, they're good bugs. They're bugs people remember.
Yeah, there was one in Twilight Princess that could break your game if you saved in the wrong spot.
Yeah.
Because
Oh, I
you'd
had
open
that
up
one,
a
yeah.
thing and then you'd go in somewhere and then you'd save and then it would close again and you'd be
Yeah.
stuck. And yeah, that sucks, but
And they actually patched that. I think that was the first
They
time
did
they
patch
ever
that.
did an official, like, patch that you download. So
Yeah,
that was
it-
a bit of
it
a
was
milestone
just-
for Nintendo.
it was more a patch for your save file.
Yeah.
It would just like fix your save. And
Yeah.
then you'd just not save in there again.
Like, it
And
was
then
like,
I think subsequent
yeah.
versions of the game probably fixed that bug.
probably. Like the greatest hits and all that.
Oh, there was one in Skyward Sword as well. I forgot about.
Oh,
But yeah, they did the same thing.
Sure. Matt, do you play any Nintendo or Zelda?
I played Wind Waker.
Okay.
Not
It's
a
a
bad
good
one to
one.
go with. Yeah.
Only
Yeah.
Zelda game I've ever played.
I'm
Except
pretty-
for 1 and 2, I played those.
Oh, okay.
Oh, for NES?
Yeah.
Those are fun too. Also a pain in the ass.
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Especially two.
Yeah.
Why are they playing in the S?
They're just arcade games.
you'll see.
Well, they're
Just
not
play
arcade
it.
Games.
Yeah.
Zelda
Are these
2
the-
is just
Are these the
very
top-down
difficult.
ones?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're
Except
like,
Zelda 2 had a lot of side-scroller
Well,
elements.
yeah, Zelda 2
and
was
it's
top-down.
kinda-
I mean, Skyward.
What was the sorry, this is a stupid question. What was the Zelda, Chris, that we played? Where it was sort of it was like top down.
Oh, that was Wand of Gamelon. No, it was that was
Get lost.
what do you mean flipped up?
It wasn't okay. So there was
There's a lot of them like that.
okay. There was the one where there was one game that we played at a show where you get
Oh, right,
you're
right,
painting
yeah.
against a wall.
That's
Oh,
Link
Link
Between
Between Worlds.
Worlds, which is a sequel to Link to the Past, which was the most famous 2D one,
Was
and
that
also,
the same?
the one directly before Ocarina of Time made the series made the series 3D, but they still make the 2D ones as well. It's a bit like Metroid in
Was
that
the
way.
Link Between Worlds one the one where you go from painting to top down, painting to top
Yeah,
down?
yeah.
Okay.
That was
Yeah.
like the main mechanic for that game was that whole deal.
Okay. Sure.
And it worked really well, actually. It wasn't a gimmick.
It was a good game.
Cool. Okay. I mean, because that's one of the ones that I've got on my wish list as well. Hint, hint. So I've got loads of things on my wish list.
Play Link to the Past first,
Link to the Past first.
like
okay.
we talked about in the last
Yeah.
podcast.
Play Link to the Past first, and then it's the sequel. So.
Is it on the Virtual Console?
Yep.
It is.
Okay, I'll put that down and write it down now.
There's also a good GBA.
Yeah, the Game Boy Advance
Solid
one was
ports.
good. It's a good port.
Yeah, I've actually got it. If you wanna,
It's actually
borrow it,
Barrow it. Yeah, I might want.
borrow it. Want to put it in a wheelbarrow?
Yeah, I might just. Yeah, I might do that or just buy it online or whatever. I don't know where my DS is at the moment. Yeah, but what do we think is going to happen in terms of obviously we can look at go on KeepTrackr now. We look at Nintendo's release schedule for the Wii U.
Oh, don't look there.
This is what I
it's a
want.
ghost town.
This is exactly what I want.
The land of wind and ghosts. Yeah.
So, hang on a second. I'm just gonna show this on Twitch. I may as well. Screen capture, and I'll capture that entire screen. There. Cool. So, let's go to brand platforms.
Wee.
Okay, so Wii U.
So there's a lot of things, just relatively speaking, not in the immediate future.
Yeah, so we've got
A lot of big things.
Got Kirby Rainbow Curse in May.
Which is already out in the US.
Oh, in the US it's already out, but in the UK. So let me move this to the US because I think most of our watchers will be in the US, and I think most things get released in the US first, so that'll make it easier.
Oh yeah, the Animal Crossing Mario Kart pack. I forgot about that.
Oh no! Please don't start on that again.
There's not much.
Xenoblade Chronicles 3D, which is obviously for 3DS.
Yeah.
Oh, that's 3DS.
That's 3DS. Yeah, I was like,
Oh, yeah,
wait,
Wii U,
what?
okay, fine. We got.
It should have been on the Wii U, but yeah, that's
There's
the
some
3DS.
Mario Kart 8 DLC.
Yeah, Super Mario
Yeah.
Kart 8 DLC. Splatoon comes out in May. That looked pretty popular.
Mario
Splatoon,
Maker.
that's good. Yeah. Exclusive wise,
Lego Jurassic Park. That'd be
that's
alright.
definitely not an exclusive.
No, I know.
Yoshi's Woolly World.
Star Wall, just the tip.
Just the tip.
What?
No.
It's a game.
Yoshi's Woolly World.
It looks
On
pretty funny.
Nintendo?
I think it's
Yeah.
cross-platform actually.
Well, I
I
mean,
don't know
yeah,
exactly what
it's on the PlayStation platforms like Vita
Yeah.
and PS4 as well, but they're porting it to Wii U eventually. They've been porting it to Wii U for about a year now. So
Okay, so we're scrolling down this, and we are coming towards the end of 2015, entering 2016, and there doesn't seem to be. There's Donkey Kong Country Returns, which is still to be announced.
but that's just the eShop
Yeah,
re-release.
yeah, but it will still get quite a lot. It's like quite a
Yeah.
lot of them.
Yeah. Devil's Third is getting some push.
And then you got things like Golden Sun Lost Age Wii U will get a re-release.
That already came out in Europe.
Yeah,
but they
in
sell
the
them.
US, they haven't announced it. But basically, yeah, it's very sparse. So what
Just a
are
bit.
I mean, Nintendo this year. What is happening in terms of like, are they? Do we think that they're just going to be like really pushing forward with the mobile, and sort of? I mean, like the Wii U looks like it's going to be pretty neglected.
Well, they said that they weren't devoting any of their time to the mobile stuff, so I'm going to say
Yeah.
no to that.
Okay.
That was a complete separate team and stuff.
Oh, don't want to do this.
What about 3DS? What's coming for that? Because there's probably a lot more.
They've also sort of blown blown themselves a little bit on that as well. In terms of getting a lot of big releases have come out this side of the year. So
Yeah,
it's a bit sparse there too. But
there's a lot less for 3DS, but a lot more than Wii U.
Yeah, it's a bigger install base, and
Especially considering like a lot of people have 3DSs now. It's pretty popular.
Well, since the what do you call it, the Majora's Mask and Smash Brothers, loads of people bought it just purely for those. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean you've got the new Fire Emblem.
That's true.
Eventually going to come out.
But yeah, but Zelda was one of the biggest things that a lot of people, they were hoping that they were going to boost sales of Wii U's over 2015, which isn't
this
going
year
to happen anyway.
Brett Poole made a good point in chat that they're working on their next platform as well. So I don't know how much development time that's taking out of
true, yeah.
out of game development stuff.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, they might be going for a quick exit out of this particular generation.
They could also, their development time could be put towards making games for that, or just designing it, etc.
Sure, that's true.
Because new consoles need their own proprietary software as well, just to keep it running.
Yeah,
and they may have a few surprise. I mean, if they're clever, which of course we know Nintendo is, they never make a bad business decision.
Ever.
They'll have a few surprises up their sleeve for E3 if they're not showing Zelda.
They'll show something. Well, I mean, now that they do Nintendo Directs, they tend to show a lot less.
Yeah, now they've that's true. But now they've got some momentum going. It would be a very good idea for them to try and keep that.
Where's the momentum?
Well, after Mario Kart 8 and Smash Brothers stuff came out, the Wii U is doing a lot better than it was.
Sure,
it's still not doing fantastic, but there's something there now. It's not like dead.
Well, yeah, but the momentum is really slight. So, I mean, it's not as much as it could be having. I mean, I can't remember.
Yeah, but I mean, you know.
Yeah.
It was on life support, and they've given it a zap with the old paddles.
Yeah.
With the old Wii U gamepads.
Yeah. Clear.
Yeah,
But,
I'm just hoping that their next iteration of gaming is going to have like a controller which is comfortable.
Good. Yeah.
I mean, the Wii U Pro controller is comfortable.
We've had we've had two generations of controllers which are.
It's like
I didn't mind the Wii remote too much.
Well, I don't know. I think that what we're going to see next I actually agree with the fellow in chat here, Brett Poole.
We're forgetting Star Fox.
We need Star Fox.
Which is still confirmed for this year.
Star Fox and possibly a proper F-Zero game.
They do need that. They do need a full HD F-Zero game.
Yeah,
I mean, like for me, like I honestly, I've never played an F-Zero game. I've only seen people play it. I've watched online people playing it.
Intense.
I used to play. I was a PS1, PlayStation 2 gamer as well, and I played Wipeout games.
Pretty much the same.
It's sort of the same, less intense, different
same
mechanics.
concept.
But yeah, it's pretty much the same concept. I would love to be able. I'm very much more a Nintendo gamer, even though I've got a PS4 now and not a Wii U. But I would like
That's
to.
so much.
Well, yeah, exactly. I use Chris's mostly, and Chris uses my PS4. But
it's F-Zero.
But I would like to see an F-Zero game because that would be awesome. To have like a high intense, a high intensity racing game. Mario Kart is one side.
Like Forza. I guess we're talking about Nintendo.
Well, yeah, Mario Kart is high intensity, but in a different kind of way.
It's high intensity because of RNG and a lot of crap flying around at you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the thing is with F-Zero is that it's been so long since anything has come from that IP.
Yeah.
Properly. That it would be nice to see it. They've
had mini games and teases and stuff.
Yeah.
But even Sakurai made a joke on like the Smash Brothers website about how it's dead.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think if they just look through all the IPs that they do have on Smash Brothers and just say, right, we need to revive this because it's been out for a long time.
Everyone loves Captain Falcon.
I mean,
Falcom.
Just make his game.
But just even if they did something like, I'm sure it would probably sell even more if they just gave him a bright pink suit as a DLC pack.
Oh, that'd be great.
Yeah.
For only $14.95, you get the new
with,
Captain Falcon DLC.
Like a silver nipple, like.
Oh, the Mario Kart 8
stuff.
crossover pack. Just put Mario in like a, just put Mario in like a super feature car.
That would be amazing. So like they have a crossover, so because they've already done it with the.
They already did it, yeah.
Yeah,
that was the most F-Zero they've done in ages.
Yeah, exactly. They did a full F-Zero map and
it was a really good stage, especially that bend. I hate that bend.
Oh,
yeah,
that bend isn't even hard. I don't even know how you just. I remember that one time. So basically, we were trying.
If you're going fast, it's hard.
So we're trying to go for the three gold cup star thing. 3 gold star challenge thing.
Yeah.
So to get that, you need to come first in every single race. Now, in most of the races, like me and Chris are generally on par, however much he says I'm not. But for most of the time, he tends to come first a little bit more regularly, or at least I want to pass on that responsibility to him. So I'm in front. I'm say in first place or second place, and I'm like, Chris, get in front of me. I then am shooting ahead. I then brake. And then just see Chris career straight over the edge of this turning to death, and like I just see another guy cross the line, and I'm like, it's not a hard turning.
It's a tricky bend. It comes off very fast. And that was mirror mode too, I think.
Either way, it's not a hard turn. It's a tight turn, but it's not a hard turn. Rainbow Road, it's a lot harder, and you can do that. So.
Nah,
yeah.
Not in this version. It's no double dash.
I still haven't gotten the DLC. I should.
You should. It's really fun.
It actually adds a lot.
I've played it, but I need money.
Money's
nice.
We hopefully hopefully we'll get around to. I will get around to being able to do US.
Nintendo needs something.
Worst boss ever.
Yeah.
I'm sorting shit out, so please forgive me. Actually,
please understand.
What other IPs would we want to come out? So F-Zero. What was the other
Nintendo
one?
IPs? Oh god.
Yeah. Metroid.
Star Fox.
Team Ninja anywhere near it.
All I care about Star Fox. I'm sorry.
They could do more Metroid. They should. Depends on.
Yeah.
The only studio that can really handle that is Retro, though.
I would really like to see like an actual Metroidvania, like classic style side on.
Well, they have one of those. It's called Metroid.
Yeah, I know.
Just
but what
have
I'm
to
saying
make it.
is like, that's what I'm saying is actually like a classic style Metroid game, but in like today's graphics. So,
there's quite a lot of those actually, especially on PC at the moment. It's a big thing.
Yeah.
I'm saying
it's
actual Metroid rather than Metroid
style. Right.
Like I want to see Metroid doing Metroid.
That would suit. That would be better.
Interesting.
Side-scrolling nowadays is better suited for handheld.
Yeah, but so either way, Wii U or handheld. Or 3DS.
I could see a handheld like a 3DS.
3DS would make sense. That's where they keep. That's where they keep the 2D stuff.
You say that though, but then you have games like Trine, which do a brilliant job on like a really high spec level, like base.
Yeah,
and
they aren't.
Oh.
It's not so much Metroidvania. Like stuff like Shadow Complex was trying to be Metroid.
I understand they're not Metroidvania. They're more They're just called side scrolling.
Yeah, I mean, we're not denying they look good, but it just feels like a style of gameplay that does work very well on the handheld. Like that's a good place. That's a good sort of separation. Is you have the 2D on the handheld, and you have the 3D stuff on the big one, and everyone's happy because everyone gets the style that they like. Yeah.
Seems kind of weird for a handheld based around 3D to be making 2D games, though. I don't know if I want that.
It kind of makes perfect sense because the way the 3D works on the 3DS, it's just kind of separating layers, and that actually almost works better with a side-scrolling game than with a 3D game because then the distance is very, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's very
planned.
Regimented or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Also, 2D games on a full console just kind of seem a little bit cheaper to me. I don't know. Nowadays, I think a full 3D experience, it feels like there's more to it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
it's more immersive in a
New
lot of
Super
cases.
Mario Bros. U.
I like 2D games.
It's great, but it didn't feel like a full game for nowadays, like for today's standards.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, especially when you've been playing games which are like plus 50 hours long.
Yeah.
I honestly, like, it's weird. I'm playing, like I said earlier, I'm playing Shadow of Mordor. I started playing 2 days ago, and I've almost finished it. And like,
Jesus, how long you been playing?
That's just like the main.
I'm playing I played it like yesterday evening, and I played it for a couple of about 5 hours today. And I've done all the
doing
main
no
missions.
side stuff?
Yeah, but that's main missions. It's a sandbox game.
Yeah, I know. I've been doing some. I've done all the main missions. I've done almost all the main missions. I've done about 7 or I've done like 6 or 7 of the other storylines. So like Gollum's storyline and other storylines.
You got to do a lot more.
Yeah, I mean it's not an especially large sandbox. I'm just going to check how long to beat.
How long to beat? It says 21 hours, I think, for the main match.
It says main and a few extras. There's 21.5 hours, and completion is 30 hours. So that's pretty reasonably small for a sandbox.
For a sandbox.
But 30 hours is like.
But even that game feels really small. I mean, considering that it took like Chris about like 10 hours to try and defeat one boss in Bloodborne. I mean, we're gonna.
It didn't take 10. How did it go from like 2 to 10?
Yeah, 2 hours. Jeez.
And then, eventually, just like Chris spent 2 days fighting this boss, so he couldn't beat it.
Yeah, and he didn't beat it.
Yeah,
he didn't even beat it. He just gave up.
the PS4 just overheated.
No, honestly, the cleric beast was an absolute asshole if you don't know how to get through it. So
yeah, for various reasons, but we'll get onto that possibly now.
Yeah,
actually, if anyone's got anything else to say, unless
anybody wants any other IP
segue.
Yeah. Nobody else wants anything.
Zooming along on our segues.
I know an awesome Nintendo IP that should definitely come back.
Bloodborne?
Bomberman.
Half-Life.
No.
Mark Ryder.
What?
Just Matt, Half-Life.
I didn't even hear that.
Oh god. Well, Nintendo were in talks with Valve at one point to do something.
Half-Life.
No, we went over that last week.
Yeah.
Cyberpunk.
So yeah, we went over that as well last week.
The Lost Guardian.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, no. So let's carry on with that segue because that was really smooth. Bloodborne. First impressions.
It was smooth, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was smooth, and we just completely messed it up.
It was.
How was Bloodborne? How's Bloodborne, gentlemen?
How does let's first of all think like let's just simply ask Cameron and Matt, what do you think Bloodborne would be like, and then we'll tell you how we found it.
Dark Souls.
Yeah, I mean, I tried it at PAX and it was difficult, but from what I've heard, it seems way harder now than the demo was. Yeah.
Souls on steroids.
They basically they took a lot of comments from people talking about Dark Souls 2 and how it became a lot easier from Dark Souls 1 and said, okay then.
Make it harder.
Yeah, it's a very. Yeah, I mean, I've been playing it so far, and Raji's been helping from the side.
Helping.
Yeah. He's been giving moral support, yeah.
Moral support and marshmallows.
That's the term. So far, I'm actually finding it pretty... I mean, it's not a huge surprise considering the pedigree, but it's pretty difficult.
Yeah.
Especially, like, even in comparison to the previous Souls games. I mean, it's not a Souls game, technically, but it basically kind of is. But that's the interesting thing about it, is the engine and the camera and everything is all classic, like Souls, and the way it works, the way the controller's laid out, sort of like weak attack, strong attack, recovery item, blah blah blah, is all mapped in the same way, along with the dodge. But the flow of gameplay has a few smallish changes that have made it play very, very differently, especially depending on how you played Souls, because there's a lot of different ways to run your build when it comes to Souls.
Actually, something I will say now is something I tried this morning, which was basically I went into Dark Souls 2 because I've just completed the game, and I did a soul vessel, and then I re-spec'd all my stats to strength, endurance, vigor, vitality, and dex, and then didn't wear a sword, and I had a crossbow in one arm, the multi-shoot crossbow in one arm,
the other,
and a sword in the other. And I went through some of the dungeons and
you were Bloodborne it.
I was Bloodborning it and seeing how it works. And it's kind of similar. I mean, I was doing it in the one with the...
was it a short sword?
Yeah, I used a short sword.
Okay.
It's actually quite... If you want to have if you want to get used to it before playing Bloodborne or buying Bloodborne, I would suggest going and doing that. If you played Dark Souls 2 or Dark Souls 1, try doing that for a little while, because that might actually get you feeling used to the way you're going to be playing.
So Brett Paul has a point. Like, in terms of the mechanics, a lot of stuff is going back to Dark Souls 1. So, like, just little stuff like the enemies are made of rubber again, which is always nice. And you're invincible when you're pulling levers, and there's some various other stuff. What I think Brett means with the Demon Souls thing is it's going back to being a bit harder as well. Demon Souls was fairly uncompromising compared to, say, 2, but also it's a lot more hub-based. So you're going back to like a main hub area and warping to various places a lot. So it's a bit more centralized even then compared to Dark Souls 2. And like I'm not... because there's a big thing about difficulty and what's the most difficult and what's easy in the Souls series that gets people arguing a lot. But I think a lot of it is basically the first Souls game you play is always going to be the hardest, right? That's just common sense. And then once you're used to the whole like flow, then any other one is going to be easier. So like people keep saying Demon Souls was so much harder than Dark Souls, blah 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 blah. So I played Dark Souls first, and when I played Demon Souls, I actually found it pretty easy because I kind of knew what to expect from it, and I knew all the beats and everything. And Bloodborne is absolutely kicking my ass at the moment because I always used to run like a sword and shield build, like fairly straightforward sort of strength endurance thing. Yeah, whenever I play Dark Souls, and Bloodborne is basically totally against that style of play. It actively encourages you to be aggressive and sort of really push into combat and make the attack first instead of waiting or just roughing it out. And it's really hard to get used to, especially if you never played that kind of build before.
Yeah, I must say, like, basically yesterday, so what me and Chris have done is that I've just some background is I bought a PS4, so basically Chris doesn't have to. I bought Bloodborne, and then I wanted Chris to play it before me just because I'm a pussy. Basically I was basically watching him yesterday play, and you wouldn't. I'd say you notice it more from watching than you do from anything else. But I think it was more apparent. But watching Chris play, and this is no word against him because this is just what it's going to be like for pretty much every. Well, that's questionable, but like, it's so apparent. Like when we play in Dark Souls, you are like backing away, let them attack, and then you strike in. Now, what Chris was doing right at the beginning, and almost towards like probably until like 10 minutes before we stopped playing, he was doing this because then he actually beat the first boss,
the Cleric Beast.
Yeah, the Cleric Beast. But basically, what was happening is that every single time he was getting hit. Okay, so let's put this back into Dark Souls. If you get hit, you back away and then take an Estus Flask, or if
you get out of there.
You take a life gem or whatever it is. You get out of there. You don't stay there. You recover your stamina and then get back into the fray. In this, you are encouraged to not use your blood vials. You want to, with Bloodborne, you get hit. Everyone's read about the regain feature, which is basically there's a limited amount of time that if you attack back, you will regain the health that you've lost.
Yeah, and you can get back nearly all of it.
Yeah.
By doing this all the way.
So basically, what was happening is Chris was before backing away, using all his blood vials. He would get to the midway through the fight and have used like 15 of his 20 blood vials. Okay, in the final fight, he had regained all of his health almost every single time he attacked the cleric beast. Sorry.
Yeah.
Basically,
right.
yeah, no, I'm just kidding. And then on top of that, he, on top of that, he had 12 of his vials left at the end. He had only used like 7 or 8.
Yeah, in the one where actually won.
In the one that he won. And it just goes to show, like, if you cannot back down in this game,
you have to really rework how you play. And I also chose the cane, which is the slightly trickier build in terms of, like, for starters, in terms of how it works, because it turns into a whip with long range, and the initial sword that the cane starts out as is very short range. Like, if you were playing Dark Souls, it'd be like a short sword, knife sort of length, and so you have to, like, I have attacks that I'm used to having, like a claymore or a longsword or something like that, where I can be reasonably far away and do a jab or something. And there's a lot of attacks in Bloodborne where I'm just missing because I underestimated the length of my attack. Like, you really have to get in there. Like, the main weapon, like the whole flippy sword axe cleaver thing that they keep showing off in all the materials, is it's actually the shortest range weapon of all the starting weapons. You have to get right up in their face to attack them.
But I think the reason why a lot of beginners have been opting to go with that is because it forces you to get closer to the action and not be dodging away because it's not long range. You have to get in, and
that's why I might do a replay and try out that instead, or maybe stick with the cane.
It also does more damage as well.
Yeah,
but the
cane's pretty neat.
The cane is cool. But like it was saying, I mean, just from the class. So basically, in Bloodborne, if you don't know yet, there's no class system, but there is origin systems. Basically, you start out from being a human who had an origin, basically. So if you want to go with a skill-based system, based on like faster weapon types and so on and so forth, the best origin to have is the professional. And to me, that basically just shouts to people, basically, if you are an experienced player and you understand Bloodborne, you understand how to play it and the way it's been played, then play this set. We went straight into professional, and it has been a learning curve and a half. Because
I thought that it would be like, because from the videos it looked quite versatile. Like, we watched Varty's sort of beginner's guide to Bloodborne, and he was like, it turns into a whip, and then you have a side sweep that is good for large groups of enemies, and then the other thing is good for small groups. And I was like, okay, I'm going to choose this because it's nice and versatile.
It makes it
it'd be good for a lot of situations.
Like it actually be better, but the problem is with the cleaver, you're getting more damage, which at the beginning of the game makes everything a lot easier.
And you can flip it. You can flip it out for more range as well, relatively speaking.
Yeah, but also
the extension.
And like I said earlier, with the cleaver, you can you basically get used to with the mechanic a lot faster because you haven't.
Yeah, because you have to get in there. Yeah.
Yeah, you haven't got the choice of backing away, and I think with the chain, you do have that sort of a little bit of I can be a little bit Dark Soulsy here because I can get away.
The chain is the most range of any starting weapon, I think.
Yeah, it does. No, it doesn't. The axe has the longest range, but it's the slowest as well.
It's really slow.
So yeah, and so in the end, Chris. Let's say Chris and I started playing about 8 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
We finished at 2:30. 2:30.
It wasn't 2:30.
Yeah, because I went to bed at 3. So
it was getting to 2.
I went to bed at 3, and I only went to bed about half an hour after you left, so it was about 2:30ish. So
maybe it was 20. It was 20 to 2 if I remember.
No, it was 2:15, something like that. So it was past 2. It was well past 2.
Maybe.
That's for 6.5 hours, and bearing in mind that the cleric beast is the easiest boss. Obviously, it's the first boss. It took that first area, which is meant to only take like half an hour, took a long time. So
the first area is not supposed to take half an hour unless you played it before.
Well, there's a lot of areas left, so I mean, like.
I know people who have spent 3 hours on it and not been the first boss.
Yeah,
and that's just exploring around the area.
But that's what I'm saying is that, like what Vardy said, and what what a lot of people have been saying is that if you've gone into this playing Dark Souls, unless you're very very good at adapting, there's going to be a lot of unlearning to do.
Yeah, what I'm saying is that it's quite a dense area, so you can spend a lot of time there. Even if you're not dying all the time, there's a lot to explore. Because compared to like the first area in Dark Souls 2, or even like the Undead Burg in Dark Souls 1, there's a lot going on, and it's obviously very connected with the rest. The big thing something that Bloodborne does is there's a lot less bonfires, although in this there's sort of torches or lanterns that you light. And there's a lot more emphasis on taking shortcuts to get around the area rather than going between lots of bonfires. Like Dark Souls 2 kind of really chucked bonfires at you pretty often.
Dark Souls 1 didn't.
Relatively speaking. Dark Souls 1 didn't so much.
Dark Souls 1 was...
depending on the area you were in.
Going from Dark Souls 1 to Dark Souls 2 was amazing. I mean, not in a particularly good way because it was just so easy. But yeah, no, it was.
Yeah, I'd say for someone who didn't have too much trouble with, someone who had a fair bit of trouble with Dark Souls 1, not too much with demons, and Dark Souls 2, even like the cleric beast in Bloodborne gave me a lot more trouble than pretty much all the bosses in Dark Souls 2.
I'd almost be tempted to say don't play any of the Dark Souls games before playing Bloodborne if you want to enjoy Bloodborne and you've not played any of them before. Because you will, if you want to enjoy Bloodborne, then you are gonna.
I've heard from people doing that, and they are not having a good time.
Yeah.
Well, at first, you're not gonna have a good time.
It's a good prep.
As you've said before, the Souls games, your first one is definitely going to be your hardest, and
your first one's your hardest, and then all the others seem easy, and you don't get what everyone else is talking about.
If your first one's Bloodborne, and it's kicking Chris's ass, then
yeah,
like it'll be a tough game.
We were playing Dark Souls 2, and we were doing like the Belfry Gargoyles fight, which is like a side optional fight. That's supposed to be really tough. Never do. Yeah, and I picked it up and was like, okay, how did I ever do this in any reality which I exist in? And then like five or so tries later, like 5 to 10, something like that.
It was like, okay, so
I managed to do it, and I hadn't played Dark Souls 2 or Dark Souls in general in like a year at that point.
Yeah.
And stuff like when Roger played Dark Souls 1, I was helping her out by showing him how to do the Gargoyles battle, like the original Gargoyles battle, and I kind of may have accidentally won the battle because I thought there was more. So, yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't best impressed, but then I wasn't upset.
Basically, I have an inbuilt compulsion to not let Raju fight gargoyles, and also I just really found the cleric beast really hard and disorientating. Like,
I mean,
he was quite a challenge. I'm going to say, partially in my defence, I'm going to admit right here and now that a lot of it was me being salty and getting super frustrated and losing the plot a bit.
Yeah.
In terms of the flow of the battle.
A bit.
But the battle does kind of show off a few of FromSoft's things that they've done before with a lot of battles like this, because it's a very large enemy. When you lock onto it and you attack or you roll around, the camera can go nuts, and Roger will at least back me up on that one. Like, it gets very disorientating.
Yes,
but I know you're supposed to lock it and run around it.
But my defense on that...
your defense?
No, my defense to the game...
You don't need a defense.
My defense to the game is that it was said, and I told you about like halfway through, that locking onto larger enemies is not a good idea. So...
But that's the only enemy that large where that's actually a problem.
Well,
because it's so large that the camera is actually going into walls and into the thing itself, and that isn't a problem with the player. Technically, I mean, they have to work around it, but even if they have to work around it, that's still a problem, I think, with the design of the camera and not with the actual person. Because, basically, if I get round behind the boss and then the battle is a lot more straightforward when I can get round behind it. If the camera is freaking out all over the place, that is not real. That is not difficulty as you would normally define it. That is just wrestling with the mechanics.
Bad gameplay, yeah. But what I'm trying,
and that's what I'm saying.
But what I'm saying is you were doing this. This is going to get into an argument, but basically you would just after the 10th.
I'm saying 3/4 of it was me. Okay, I would admit, but
I'm good with that.
The camera was not good in that fight.
No,
it made it very confusing to tell what I was doing, where I was at times, especially because it was a very. Matt's just fallen into a by the bottom.
No, I almost lost my headset. I'm fine.
Okay. I think the summary for first impressions are if you're a beginner of this game, whether you've played Dark Souls before or not, start with the cleaver. Do not start with the short sword or the axe. When you go through the game, you will be dying a lot. The first area is incredibly dense, and the first boss is all right. Just do not, whatever you do, lock on with your camera. Yeah, never lock on to the target.
Pull it into the middle of the bridge. It will come towards you.
Best thing to do, and I'll link this down below. Follow Varti Vijaya's channel. He basically will guide you through it, and he doesn't guide it to the point where he basically takes away any of the fun or the surprises or anything in the game, but he will basically stop you from getting stuck. So I would say go and follow his channel. So yeah.
Yeah, but so far it is a good bunch of challenge, and it's definitely still a challenge if you've played Souls before.
Yeah.
Possibly more so because you've got a lot of habits by now that will get you killed in Bloodborne.
Yeah, definitely.
I miss Estes.
Right, so I can't remember what other topics we said we wanted to go through.
Project Eternity?
Halo Online.
Yep.
That's the only one I can think of.
Yeah, I mean, we're all proud Russians here, so...
Yeah. I
mean, what's up with... I'm angry. I'm angry. Because I've been wanting a Halo PC game for a long time, again.
Like Halo 3.
And... they were like, yeah, we're going to give you one. And we're like, yay, and it's Russian. So, what's up, 343? How you doing? No, I think it's a test. I think they're probably going to see how they react to it. And if they do react to it well, we'll get it in Europe and America.
Yeah.
Most likely what's going to happen. Because people have been wanting one for a while. I mean, the last one we got was Halo 2, and that was garbage. On PC, at least.
On PC,
the game was
it was
good.
a notoriously bad port.
Yeah, that's what I mean. The game was great on the Xbox, Xbox One, and not the Xbox One, but the
original
Xbox One.
The original Xbox.
Yeah.
The Xbox first.
The one with the fat controller, the Duke.
The Xbox 180.
The one, I was about to say.
180. Why didn't they do 720?
Because they wanted to call it the One.
Yeah. Why do they call it an Xbox 720? Because when you go into the room, you turn around 720 degrees, and
this joke has already lost all meaning.
No, it works for 720.
Yeah, exactly.
It didn't work for 360.
No,
because you'd be moonwalking away for 360.
Yeah, exactly. They had those animated gifs of like Michael Jackson going into a room with an Xbox 360, moonwalking out of the room.
What? Would that be the 180?
What is this?
No, because
because you'd be moonwalking because you'd be refacing it and then having to walk out of the room.
Yeah, and then he has to walk out while he's facing it backwards.
Oh.
Yeah. So this article was posted on Engadget on the 25th. So Halo Online is free to play PC game launching only in Russia. I'm pretty sure.
We're closed beta in Russia. It's not launched yet.
And there's actually an exploit that can get you in if you're not Russian, which some people are using.
Weird.
That's not surprising.
Of course, this is not officially sanctioned, so we cannot You know,
So, I mean,
we're just pointing out that this has happened.
My thoughts are that, what do you call it? So you have games like Team Fortress 2, which are very, very popular in terms of online PC.
It's still one of the most popular games on Steam.
Yeah, FPSs. So, I mean, like, it wouldn't be a bad idea. I mean, personally, I haven't actually played Halo all that much. But, like, to bring that to the rest of the world. I mean,
they're testing.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, just to be clear, Halo, the original Halo and Halo 2 did come out on PC, and people still play online.
Yeah,
Not
well,
much,
Halo
but-
1 was fun online. I mean, I played it in school.
Yeah, I did.
this is
With some
almost
time.
sort of a
pretty
repackage of
good.
that experience. So it's kind of like an update, like Quake Live was to Quake 3 Arena,
Yeah.
or like Unreal Tournament is to Unreal Tournament 2004 sort of thing. Not 3. Let's just forget 3 existed.
I enjoyed 3.
I enjoyed 3.
It was well done.
I'm not saying
I
it
think
was
it went
as
way
good
away
as the
from
other
what.
ones.
I think it was almost a different game.
Yeah, it was a
I don't
different
know.
type of
In a
game.
lot of
It was
ways.
a different type of game.
Like, in its defense, Unreal Tournament 3 was my first step into Unreal Tournament.
And I did not like
And
the art style.
I thought it was awesome. So, like...
I mean,
Well, it's not
no
like the
Quake
older
3
ones.
Arena.
I mean, I'm
Listen,
not saying it's a
Quake
bad
Live
thing.
is
I enjoyed
amazing.
it. I enjoyed it quite a
Quake
lot.
is good.
It's just because of the game modes it introduced, it completely changed the style of gameplay that people associated with Unreal Tournament. So if you're someone who liked Unreal Tournament games previously and wanted to play that kind of game, it's like, okay, now it's a long distance vehicle combat objective based game. But Unreal Tournament is all about shooting people.
Wait, are we talking about Halo now?
We're talking about Unreal Tournament now.
We're talking about Unreal Tournament 3, which was probably actually trying to be Halo a little bit. That's probably a big reason behind why it ended up like that.
Oh, is
But,
Halo is Halo like that? So then
You have vehicles and stuff like that.
Halo's
Okay, well, I'm getting my...
multiplayer mode in
it's on
Halo
Xbox
is a lot
360.
like Battlefield.
Okay.
Kinda.
Yeah, that's sort of the midway point between something like Battlefield and something like Quake 3 or
I did
just a straight shooter.
I did not enjoy the open worldedness of Battlefield 3.
It's not as open. It's more like Unreal Tournament 3 sort of thing.
Like,
It's just a large map.
Yeah, I mean, like with Battlefield 3 and 4, with the open world like fighting.
Yeah.
I just feel kind
Yeah,
of.
but that's
like,
what Battlefield is, though.
Yeah,
I
Yeah.
know, I know. I just felt like it was just so big that I just couldn't even. I felt like there was not even any point for me being
Stick to Call of Duty.
coward.
Call of Duty.
No, I just like I like the smaller maps and like the gun game maps and stuff like that. So they're more interesting, intense. So,
Yeah.
Well,
But yeah, hopefully,
Depends on the game.
depends on
Yeah.
what you like.
yeah.
There's a
Halo's
place for both
alright.
of
I've played it a few times. It's I don't know. To me, it just kind of seems like if you played a lot of FPSs on PC, it's almost quite sort of standard. Like it's good, it's well made, but it's a very sort of classic FPS, which is actually quite rare these days in its own way.
I
But
can
it's but it's like you kind of know what to expect if you played Unreal Tournament before.
Yeah.
Before 3, it's very similar to that kind of a sort of gameplay and weapon layout and all that sort of thing.
I think they are with Halo 5. They're introducing some new mechanics in the multiplayer.
Triple wield.
343
Finally.
is trying.
Yeah, so hopefully this does come up outside of Russia because it would be neat to jump in, especially if it's free.
I don't think it will.
They
I
said it
don't
was
think
free, right?
it is
It
free, but
yeah.
I don't think it's going to expand outside of Russia. I think if it does well, we might see a port of the next game.
That would be pretty cool.
I'm pretty sure that's what they're doing.
I think they pretty much
maybe
nailed
not.
it.
Maybe not Halo 5, but the one after Halo.
The,
Because I think we're too
the
close
only
to Halo
problem
5.
that I would find with that is, wouldn't that then sort of like diminish Xbox One sales even more?
No.
Well, it's not
no,
doing
'cause
horribly. It's just doing a lot worse than the PS4, which is like
PC and console are really not competitors.
No. What I'm saying is that people who would have bought the Xbox One for Halo would now no longer
but-
need to.
they're
No,
buying
I
it for a
disagree.
new Halo. This is
The
a
people-
revamped version of old Halo.
The people that no, that's what we're saying is if they
Okay.
port a new game over, Chris.
Oh,
Yeah,
saying
yeah,
if they
so
put a new
bought
one.
it,
No,
okay.
but
Okay,
what what I mean is, no, they might release them at the same time, but I'm trying to answer Raju's question. If someone's gonna buy Xbox to play Halo, that's not the same person that's gonna play it on PC instead.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
understand what I mean? Like I would love to play PC, or yeah, I would love to play like Halo 4 or Halo 5 on PC. And I have an Xbox. I will not buy Halo for the Xbox because I don't want to play that game on a console.
I mean, what I'm saying is that Halo Online is not going to affect anything to do with Halo on consoles. No
Yeah,
matter how well it
Yeah, I
does.
know, but that's
Maybe.
what I'm.
That's not the question I'm asking. Chris.
That wasn't what the question was.
It's just because you said like Halo. If Halo does well, it might affect.
No.
console sales.
No, if Halo Online does well, I think that they will port the next big Halo game to PC. I don't think Halo Online is supposed to be a product that they're going to really make anything of. I think it's a test.
Yeah.
They've taken the old
Some
Halo
sorts.
that already ran on PC. They've updated it somewhat. And they're launching it in a controlled environment. Well, they're launching it in a
In Russia.
narrow environment in Russia, and if it does well, then they're like, okay, PC gamers are interested in Halo, so let's let's put more resources into the next big Halo game and launch it in North America and Europe, and which will not affect console sales, and it won't affect Halo sales on the consoles because you're going for a completely different market.
Yeah.
But it almost seems like it almost seems like a strange thing to do now because they've missed so many at this point.
But it's a new studio. This is the second game that the studio's made. Second Halo game that the studio's made.
Yeah.
And Microsoft, I know for a fact, is wanting to get back into gaming on Windows.
Yeah.
So this could be something that they use to promote that.
I
Hey,
agree
we're
with
getting
that.
back into gaming on Windows. We're releasing our #1 exclusive also on Windows.
Halo
not-
Spartan Strike.
It'll be a
Remember that?
Windows 10 exclusive. No, I don't, and I will not.
It's still
for
coming
Windows
out
Live.
eventually. Yeah.
Well, I know it'll be something new.
Yeah.
It'll be a Windows 10. It won't run on Windows. It'll be a Windows 10 thing. It'll probably require DirectX 12 or whatever Windows 10 has.
Yeah. Or some sort of exclusive dumb thing.
That's the easiest way to do it because DirectX 12 you won't be able to install on Windows 7.
Yeah.
Or
They'll
eight.
do that.
No,
That's what they did for Halo 2. You needed Vista.
You needed Vista. Yep.
Yeah. Well, I don't think it's not going to be too much of a problem because they're giving Windows 10 away for free. So.
Maybe, kind of,
Yeah,
sort of.
that's
We
true.
don't know fully yet.
Yeah.
Well, no,
I saw in a-
they're giving it away for. They're doing a free upgrade for.
They're doing a
Yeah.
free upgrade thing, but what happens after that offer is no longer available?
Well, then you have to pay for it, but there's a whole year that you can do it in. If you don't
Yes.
do it within a year, then well, fuck.
No,
you.
but what if I do it? What if I no? But what I'm saying is, what if I do it in a year and decide I want to format 16 months from now?
Yeah. Then you're.
Do I have Windows 10?
Yeah, you have you. They will give you.
Are
give
you sure?
They give you a key code.
Are you sure
I don't know
that's
about
how it
that.
works?
They would probably. I mean,
They
I
haven't.
can't imagine.
They haven't made that clear.
I'm sure they wouldn't be stupid enough. I'm actually no. This is
I'm sure they would.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. There's always a problem when you say that regarding company business decision.
But I mean,
I
you know
don't
what
think
I'm
it's
saying.
a matter of stupidity, though. But the thing is, though, Raju, I don't own Windows 8.1, but I can upgrade to Windows 8.1 in the
That's
store.
what you'd have
Wait,
to
you know,
do.
have you pirated 8.1?
I did not pirate anything.
Okay.
I own
Own
a
it.
copy of Windows 8.
But you don't have the code.
I have yes, I have the code. I have Windows 8.
8.1
Windows
is
8
an
and
upgrade
8.1 are
from
two
8.
separate things.
Yeah.
Okay, I own 8. I can install 8.
But what I'm saying
And if
is,
I want to install 8.1, I have to go into their marketplace and download it. It happens to be free. But what if
Sure.
Windows 10 is free for a year? I don't have a Windows 10 key.
No. It's free for a year. As in, it's free. It's free if you
To
upgrade
upgrade.
in that first year, then it's free indefinitely.
Are you sure?
Yes,
Yes,
that's how it's
how
been, that's how
I
they've
disagree.
explained that. They've said that.
I
if-
don't think they have.
Yes, they did.
I
It
think
was-
that's an
Yeah.
assumption.
It was
You're
free
assuming.
for a year, and if you do not, I can't imagine it would only be free
you
for
own-
a year, and then you'd have to buy it after that.
No,
Well,
it's
see,
not
the thing
like
is,
that.
you won't have to
It's
buy it. I'm saying if you want to reinstall it. I understand you can keep it installed and keep using it, but what if
Yeah.
you want to reformat your computer and install it again?
Yeah, when I did the student deal, that got me a discounted version of Windows 7 for my laptop, like a few years ago. I bought the edition. I didn't get a key.
Yeah. They just
Oh
install
no, I get your question now. So you're saying
That's-
because you're getting an upgrade
Yeah.
version, you're not getting actually the full version. You're just getting an upgrade version.
But the thing is, I don't even think that I think you're getting you're being given. See, the thing about an upgrade version is, if I get like a Windows Vista to Windows 7 upgrade disk, okay,
Yeah.
I can always install Vista and then install 7. Okay, that's how
Yeah.
that works. Because
Like,
I have that disk, I have that serial key.
Yeah.
But with Windows 10, they might let you upgrade from Windows 7 to Windows 10 for a year or so. But after that year, that offer is no longer there. And because I don't have a key and I don't have that upgrade disk because I can't download it anymore because the offer's gone, I don't think
Yeah.
that you'll be able to install it again.
Well, this
Now-
is. Go on. Jeff.
Now they might give me a key and a permanent or in a permanent image I can download. But the thing is, they haven't said that they're going to do that.
See,
I
that's
don't
if
think
I
they're
was
going to.
if I was Microsoft and I was trying to do things for the good of my customers, which I don't know. But if I was trying to do things for the good of my customers, I would say that I would give you a key which was specifically relevant to that year period, and then all keys after that year would have a different format, so that people who had keys after that year no longer.
Why would they
Yeah.
just give us?
I mean-
why would they have to be a different format? They
Well,
do the same thing.
No,
I mean, 'cause
listen,
yeah.
because if you had a key from before the end of that 1 year, free 1 year upgrade, then you've claimed it within that year, so you have you legitimately are allowed to upgrade. Whereas if you've claimed it after that year, then the key would only be used for people who had paid for it.
You still
Yeah.
wouldn't need a different format.
Yeah, I
That's
mean,
why I'm saying you wouldn't need a
Same.
different format. It's just a license for Windows 10.
yeah, I mean, it's worth noting that Microsoft is not exactly not known for planned obsolescence. They in fact
No.
rely on it, but they rely on it a lot. In fact,
I don't
Yeah.
think that they're going to do anything to intentionally screw people over. I just think that what they've said has been misinterpreted because they haven't fully explained how
very
it's going to
possibly,
work.
yeah,
Well, we
The
still
I-
have a
the-
long
because-
time before it comes out, so.
yeah.
Not really.
Well,
Well, yeah, enough
got,
time
like-
for them to explain it.
We got like 2 or 3 months.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it won't be long.
It's supposed to be in the
It's-
spring. It might be
We'll
next
see.
month, actually.
No.
I don't know.
In spring.
It is
I
spring.
thought they said they did it after summer.
Last I heard was spring. They may,
I
they may have
thought it
changed.
was end summer 2015.
It may have changed. But
They
anyway,
pushed it forward.
what I'm saying is, even if they just give me an upgrade copy, I'm not going to install Windows 8 every time I want to install Windows 10. That's not going to happen. Because
Yeah.
because the way that would have to work, because this is how 8.1 works, is I would have to install Windows 8. I'd have to install 200 updates. I would then have to install Windows 8.1 because you can't install 8.1 until you've updated 8. I would then have to install 200 updates to 8.1. Then I would have to install Windows 10.
Wait, so
Yeah.
wait, Windows 10 doesn't. Windows 10 upgrades from Windows 7. So,
Updates from
No.
either Windows 7 or Windows 8.1.
but not 8.
You have to
But not 8.
for 7. You have to go to 7. You go to 8 or to 8.1, and then you go to 10.
Yeah.
It's not a direct thing. You have
It's
to.
not a direct thing.
Okay.
It's annoying.
It's a very convoluted process.
Which
I
annoys me
don't
'cause I'm on
understand.
7.
Honestly, I think they should allow 8.1 users to upgrade. I don't understand why they're allowing 7 users to upgrade for free. That doesn't make
Because
any
there's more of
sense.
them.
You know, it's because there's more of them because they knew that when they brought 8.1 out, when they brought
Yeah.
8 and 8.1 out, people didn't want to move over to it. because
Yeah,
Yeah, but
it's
something
a
that's
change.
Okay, so those
Sorry.
people didn't buy 8. Make them buy 10.
Yeah.
I don't understand
yeah,
that logic.
something that's
I-
worth mentioning.
But I don't
as
know.
well.
But this is nothing about being fair. This is about the company trying to
Yeah.
set things straight because they don't have.
Yeah.
They're
But they
losing.
didn't screw the 7
If they're
users.
setting
Yeah,
things
but they're
straight, then it's
losing-
sorry for 8.
The whole idea is that it's about the idea is it's not about being fair or unfair. It's about the fact that they have lost a huge amount of consumers to Apple because of the screw up in 8 and Vista.
I don't think they have. I don't think they have.
They have. I mean,
I think
know-
those users kept using Windows 7 because Windows 7 works perfectly fine.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Why would if I'm a Windows 7 user,
Look
Okay.
at this. Look at Apple sales. That's all you
Well,
have
no,
to see.
no,
There are
no,
no
no, I mean-
more- there are no-
sales
when
I
it
don't
comes
think
to their hard,
Apple computer sales are going sky high in comparison to
Hmm.
in terms of
that's not
Windows
related to
sales.
Windows. That's not related
Yeah,
to
in,
the
in
Windows.
Windows.
relation to no, but PC sales are bottoming out. As in they're getting seriously low in comparison to Apple.
PC sales?
PC sales are doing really badly.
Yeah, but what about people that build their own PCs?
Yeah.
If you want the
That's
PC users
that's a very
at this
small
point.
amount in comparison.
I mean,
No,
the average
no.
person.
The thing is, though, if the average person wants a personal computer, buy a Mac. If you want a gaming rig or you want a developer rig, you might be better off with a PC. It depends on your personal needs. Now, Windows 8 worked really well for laptops and tablets,
Yeah.
but not for the main
Yeah.
complaints from PC users were coming from us gamers with Windows 8.
And
Other people may have had small
desktop
complaints.
users.
Yeah. Also, like when it comes to PCs and PC users, like you're thinking of people who are savvy enough that they are going to make the decision to switch to a different interface or to a different. My brain has forgot what it's called. That switch from PC to Windows to iOS, right?
No,
But-
OS
10.
OS X.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Operating system, but the average PC is just like a business PC running XP or 7 or Vista that is just being used in a business or in India or in, where China or anywhere. The average PC user is not an avid PC user, and they would not
That's
have
true.
the technological. Windows is as big as it is because it is the standard, and it remains the standard for a lot of people who don't know enough about computers or don't care enough about computers to upgrade to a better one. And
Yeah,
part of this initiative is getting on top of those people, and also the people who illegally download it because they can't afford licenses in the country they're in, which is why it's worth mentioning that Microsoft said that they will upgrade people for free from illegal copies of Windows.
As well. Yeah.
That's true too.
What?
Yeah. Piracy.
Yep.
It doesn't make any sense. Then just distribute the OS for free.
Well, that's the thing.
know.
What's the point?
Most people don't know. Most people don't know or care how to pirate. The average
Well-
person does not know how to torrent.
Also, Matt. Also, Matt. Just to clarify, with Windows 8, there was a lot of hate towards it from average users as well because of the removal of the start icon.
Yeah, but I don't think that-
not just gamers. Gamers are
So don't upgrade.
I'm just.
That's what I'm saying is
what
that,
I'm
that's
saying is that
So
they're
they didn't.
trying. The reason why they're doing this, in the end, regardless of what anybody wants to say or do or hear about it, is that they are doing this because they're trying to retain and get more customers.
okay.
Yes,
I can agree with that.
Yeah, and so what I'm trying to say is that yes, we want to. Yes, obviously, it's not fair because Windows 7 didn't buy Windows 8, and we should all, Windows 7 should have to pay for Windows 10, and Windows 8 should just get basically the fair result. But the thing is that all they're trying to do is just say, right, well, let's just start everyone from zero, and now we're going to move forward.
So why not allow Vista? Okay, it's not that I don't think that people should be able to get the OS for free. I'm not saying that I feel gyffed because I purchased Windows 8 or anything like that, and you guys are still using Windows 7. You're going to get a free upgrade. I don't care. What I'm saying is I don't understand why not just give away the OS for free then?
Yeah.
Because at this
instead of
point,
an
if they're
upgrade.
saying, "Oh yeah, pirates can upgrade," well, what the heck's the point of buying it then?
Well, the thing is that you also got to do timescale. So if they're doing it for only 1 year, then there's probably some business strategy that they're trying to do in terms of maybe their stock or in terms of their shareholders that might want a certain result by a certain time period. So that might be another reason why they're doing it. It may not just be consumer based, but it may be based internally in terms of the company. So a lot of companies do that quite often. They will make arbitrary time limits on certain things because they want to see a result in a certain period, and they know that their customers will react.
Yeah, I mean, it might be an experiment.
Sorry, Cameron. Yeah.
That's why I'm positive that you're
Yeah.
kind of screwed if you want to format after that year is up.
Yeah, you're not
You'll
getting
have
a
to buy
copy of
it.
Windows. Like I think they're basically teasing people. They're like, hey,
That's
look at
what
this
they're
new
doing.
awesome OS. Hey, you want to use it for more than 15 months? Give me $100. You know what I'm saying? Like,
honestly, that's I mean, like in terms of business, like if you can get people hooked on using a certain OS, and then
Oh, it's a great business idea.
then it means that like once they're thinking that, well, then they're sort of like, well, now I'm invested in this. Well, now might as well just buy it, seeing as I have to reformat and I'm going to buy it.
It's a
I
great
mean-
business idea. I'm just not falling for their for their
I think,
trick.
I mean,
For their crap,
honestly,
not following
honestly,
for their
honestly,
shenanigans.
but the thing is that I mean, let me think about it. As soon as Windows 10 comes out and the bugs are fixed, I'm downloading it straight away.
Yeah, that's fine, and
Yeah.
it's a good OS. But the
think-
thing is,
most people will.
yeah. Oh no, they should because I've used it and it's basically Windows 8, which is already much quicker than Windows 7, with a start menu, which is the main complaint about Windows 7, and the Metro interface is less prevalent. It's still there, you can still use it, but you don't have to use it to do anything. Even
Yeah,
like
you
the
can,
control
turn it
panel,
off.
And
to
there's
get to the control panel in Windows 8, if you don't have Start 8 like I do, you have to use the Metro interface. The only control panel you have is the Metro interface.
They basically receded back into Vista.
Yeah.
So I don't know if any of you
Even
guys.
Vista had a start menu, didn't
Well,
it?
no, yeah, they did. But I mean, if you, I've recently had to use Vista because I was
Wait, I
upgrading
had
that
Vista.
laptop to. I had to use it like about a month ago because I was upgrading my laptop from Windows Vista to Windows 7. Oh my god!
Vista was just a bad Windows 7,
It
basically.
was so.
Well, it
bad.
ran terribly.
It ran.
It ran terribly, it nagged you all the time, and it just should have been XP2.
And so many things were just buried in menus that just didn't have to be buried in menus.
Yeah, it was unintuitive to get the things.
It was annoying to get to anything.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
but Windows 10 launches those Windows 8 pages in Windows if you do it from the start menu now. So
That's
they
good.
actually act like a normal window thing. You can still use Metro stuff if you want to, but you don't need to.
Yeah.
Now you
But
can
you
actually switch
you
over
cannot
to a
use it.
tablet mode. There's a tablet mode that makes it work like Windows 8, but you can
See,
switch that on and off whenever
That
you
is
want.
going to become more and more useful as capacitive touchscreens start becoming more and more popular. Because I honestly don't think it's going to be too much longer, or I don't want it to be
On,
too
like,
much longer
laptops?
to, not just laptops, but in terms of capacitive touchscreens, in terms of people actually having.
I think that's potentially a bit of an if.
No, because there has been more and more of an influx recently of all-in-one PCs having the same form factor as the iMacs. And they've been coming with capacitive touch. No, think about it for an average
For like a business kind of studio kind of thing.
That thing, or even as a student.
No, because it's very uncomfortable to use. Have you ever used one for an extended period of time?
What do you mean?
You're holding your arm in the air to control the computer. It's unless it's down.
Yeah,
like I can see like a business. Like if you build it into a desk or something. Yes, totally. But as far as like sitting on my desk like my monitor is, it would drive me crazy. And I think
Try
a lot
just
of
sitting
people
up
have
there
this-
doing stuff with
Yeah,
your
like-
hands, like in front of yourself.
A tablet's a
for an extended period
tablet.
of time.
Yeah.
Your arms will get tired.
But what I'm
do.
saying is in
Doesn't
terms
work.
of using
Laptops
the
are the same
Metro,
way.
I don't understand using. Then I totally don't understand the use of the Metro system on PC.
because
it's
it's
also
built
just-
for tablets
yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The OS is built to be run on desktops and tablets, just like Windows 8.
Yeah.
The problem with Windows 8 was it leaned way more towards tablets than it did
Yeah.
desktops.
That's
Now
the-
you
They
can
could
just
just port
flip
it over.
flop between two different interfaces. So you have the exact same software installed on your Surface Pro, and I don't know if there's any other manufacturers making Microsoft tablets other than
No,
the Surface.
Not at the moment.
Okay. So yeah, so you could if you can use your Surface Pro and you can use the Metro interface, and then if you want to plug it into a keyboard and mouse, set it up on the stand, flip the mode. Now it's a desk, or now it's like an iMac basically.
Although I'm really
Like,
curious
it's,
to see how good the in terms of mobile devices, in terms of mobile phone and cell phone devices integrate into it, because I myself wouldn't.
They won't. They won't. Well, it'll only be on tablets.
No.
And
But what I'm
maybe-
saying is in terms of Windows phones versus.
It means
and
like-
as in like
Oh,
having.
okay, I see.
As
I
in,
see.
okay, so at the moment you have the iOS system, so you have the iPads, the iPhones, and the iMacs and whatever. You have the Android, which is basically Chromebooks or like Chrome, like Chrome OS or like Chrome on a PC with your Android tablets and your Android phones, or you have your Windows family, which is your Windows PCs with Windows everything, Windows Phone and Windows Tablet. And it would be interesting to see if they actually, from Windows 10, become a more, well-positioned player.
Yeah, I think they will. I think they will. Based on what I saw when I used Windows 10, like I know a big thing for me with my iPhone and my MacBook is like calendars and reminders. I don't really use calendars, but with Windows 10, your calendar on your phone, your reminders on your phone, contacts, some of your apps, depending on what they are, all of that is synchronized with your Windows 10 desktop, just like iOS is with OS 10. I've never used a Chromebook personally, so I don't really know how much they integrate with Android OSs. But yeah, it's from what I've seen that they're really trying to integrate it with I think they're really trying to improve Windows Phone as well, because that was rough for a while.
I don't see
but
them being
it's
that
gotten
good.
better.
I don't know.
No,
Well, I
I mean
mean,
it just depends on what you use. Like it's marketed toward a different kind of person. It's just like when people ask me, Matt, should I buy an iPhone or an Android? Well, what are you going to do? Well, I like to play games. I like to watch movies. I like to maybe do a little bit of development stuff. Buy an Android. Matt, should I buy an iPhone or an Android? What do you like to do? Well, I like to make phone calls and text people, but I want a smartphone. Buy an iPhone.
No.
Why?
That is the worst idea. They're overpriced, so don't. Or
No,
you could get an old
no,
one,
because
maybe.
they're not. And no, it's not that they're overpriced though, Cameron. Because everybody does contracts now; they're all the same.
Yeah, that's what I was literally about to say. Like, I mean, most people buy
price doesn't
contracts, and
I guess.
you get a free phone.
Price
so.
does not matter. So yeah, like for me, I have an iPhone because you know what I use my phone for? I make phone calls. I text people. I play Tiny Wings.
Yeah, and actually, there's something that I know this is a bit of a long shot in terms of this topic, but there's one thing that throughout the entire recession that did not lose any money or any sales during the entire recession, and that's
Cell phones?
fashion. No, fashion.
Oh, fashion. Okay.
Fashion. In terms of the fashion industry, it's funny because you would think it would be the first thing that loses out money. In fact, it was the last thing that lost any money.
Because people are stupid. That's
Because
why.
what is because because you know, beyond food and beyond you know, living, social status and social impact is the one thing that's more important to us than anything else.
Because we're stupid.
Yeah, okay, you could argue that, but
I want to look good, but I'm going to go home and cry because my water bill got cut off. That happens.
So I mean, yeah, with the iPhone, that's still a question. Actually, I mean, it's a funny video if you watch the Linus Tech Tips video on the Windows version, so the HTC One Windows phone, and like his final summary is that it's a brilliant phone, but it's a phone for no one. There's no customer on earth that would need this phone. So just don't buy it.
I could, however, see Windows phones taking over the BlackBerry business market.
Yeah, definitely, absolutely.
But apart from that, I don't really see much for personal.
Well,
use.
BlackBerry are trying their very hardest to get back in. I mean, I don't know if you saw the Passport, BlackBerry Passport.
Yeah, I mean,
that was it was a really
the
nice
market's
attempt.
still open though.
Yeah, it was a nice
and
attempt.
there's definitely a space for Microsoft in there.
Yeah. What BlackBerry are doing, which is kind of clever, is that they're integrating a lot with Android, which is
BlackBerry's still around.
Yeah, BlackBerry they released the Passport last year, the BlackBerry Passport, which is actually it's actually kind of a cool looking phone. I mean, and the specs are the general I think is like Snapdragon 804 chip and like 1 gig of RAM, 2 gigs of RAM. Or
I mean, yeah, they've got decent hardware, same as everyone else.
Yeah,
but
exactly. The form factor was like more square, so it was that.
It is a square.
Everything that everyone else has.
It's just really weird because
depends on the user.
The problem with companies trying to differentiate themselves is that they differentiate themselves in the wrong way. So with LG, they did something which is awesome. So they figured out that when most people hold their phone, they hold them like that. So let's put the button here. So they put the button here. It meant that people don't have to reach to the top or do any of this sort of stuff. The volume is up here, then the on-off button's here, and then the up and down button's there.
One. I remember seeing advertisements for that.
And it's really, really, I don't know if you've tried it, but it's bloody comfortable. It is so comfortable. Because you just have your phone like this, and then you do all your things here.
I'm just waiting for Twitch to catch up so I can see what you're talking about.
Yeah, because I'm just seeing Lunk going. It's just like this.
Just watch Skype. Oh, you can't. My Skype thing's not. Yeah.
Okay, here we go.
It's got the button. There's buttons. The one I saw, the buttons were like near where the camera lens would be for us.
Basically. And then
Yeah.
like so, whereas now,
Okay.
but you have the BlackBerry Passport, and they're like, well, let's try and change the form factor. Well, no, the form factor is not going to help you because everyone's used to long, thin phones, not wide phones that you can't fit in your pocket.
Width, no, you don't want a wide phone, but you also, I see absolutely no reason for Apple to keep trying to make their things thinner. I don't think anybody cares how thin their phone is.
They have now hit a point where I think now the general populace are sort of saying, okay, it's kind of getting a bit ridiculous now. Your phones are super slippery, the new MacBook is a ridiculous item, and I don't think anybody wants to buy it.
I will.
The new MacBook?
Yeah.
Why?
It depends on what you use it for.
No, because what I'm saying is that why wouldn't you buy a MacBook Air, which is cheaper, more powerful, has more ports? It's not as thin, but it looks almost as good. And it's got a better screen. And it's
I
got a
actually don't
clicky
like them.
button.
They're pretty much the same thing.
They're pretty much the same thing, and they're cheaper, and they're more powerful. Why would you
I don't know
want
about
a
they're more powerful.
They are more powerful.
I don't think they are.
They are.
MacBook-
the
MacBooks have a
MacBooks are
dual
1
core
gigahertz. A
dual
1
core
gigahertz
processor.
dual core processor. The MacBook Air is, I think, 1.3 gigahertz. Processor.
I don't know.
That's not. That doesn't necessarily make it faster. I mean,
Yeah,
the
there's-
clock
there's
speed might be more, but
differences.
there's other stuff you have to take into account.
Also, why would you want something that's only got one power port? Like,
Because
you
I don't
would-
need anything else. If I
Yeah.
buy a MacBook, let me tell you what I'm going to use it for. The same stuff I use my tablet for. Why don't you buy an iPad? Because I don't like tablets. I
Yeah,
want
pretty much.
something. The Surface Pro would be fine for me because you get the keyboard for it.
Yeah,
The
exactly.
MacBook.
It's a Facebook machine.
It's for typing, like word processing.
It's not
Yeah.
an
Maybe
essential.
maybe
It's
do some business work if you need to do like data entry, which is what I have to do some of that now. I would use it for that. It's very small, so it's easy to get around. I do understand that the MacBook is also very easy to get around because of how small it is. But
I wouldn't spend $1,500 on it.
well, my MacBook Pro was about $2,000, and I could have gotten an Acer laptop for $700.
Yeah.
I would
So-
go for a Windows equivalent any day.
I would not because I don't like Windows laptops. It's personal preference.
Fair enough.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. Yeah.
It's all personal It's just like it's really, and it's also, it just depends on what you're going to use it for. It depends on, which one you think looks better. You got to use both and figure out which
there
one you
is
like.
no question that it doesn't look good. It looks gorgeous.
And some people care about that. Like
So-
some people care about form over function. As
Yeah,
dumb
that's
as
why
that
Beats
is.
sell. So yeah,
That's why what?
that's why people buy Beats.
Well, Beats are
Yeah.
also better marketed than
I mean-
like Bose headphones.
Well, yeah, but
Yeah.
marketing is image.
Yeah, but-
marketing is sales.
But
so-
the thing is, yeah, it is
Well,
sales.
it's both. You market
But
to get an image or something to make something look cool.
Yeah,
could-
but
if you have good marketing, you
Drake
can make something that
started,
isn't
but the thing
cool
is, if
look cool.
Drake started doing ads for Bose, you would buy those.
Yeah.
Or I'm sorry, the
What's the
mass
point?
populace would buy those. The quality is irrelevant when it comes to Beats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the
People are
point.
going to buy them regardless. It has nothing to do with like the purchaser's decision. They sound better than the $20 headphones.
Well, no, I mean they look good as well, and
Well-
they have an image around them. You can't divorce the image from the product because that's part of its selling point. Is that it has an image that you broadcast to other people. I was talking about this with Raju a little while back as to how if this creates enough value for someone that the image is worth their money, then that is part of the look as well. In a way, it's not part of the look, but it's part of the. It's part of what surrounds the product.
It's what
the
you're
product.
interested.
People can see.
Well, it's sort
You
of
have
it's basically it's like if you have the new Apple Watch, which is the $10,000 one, and everyone's getting outraged and blah blah. And that's like if you have $10,000 to spend, then you have $10,000 to spend again when Apple Watch 2 comes out and it's gold plated. And you will
There's
have
also-
and you will have $10,000 again when Apple 3 comes out with gold plated. So it doesn't matter. Like if you have $10,000 to spend on a watch, then money is no issue. So you can
Yep.
buy multiple iterations of it.
There's also a
Yeah.
$300 version of that $10,000 watch.
Exactly. Which
People
is exactly the
fail
same.
to mention that part.
Yeah,
Other than the case and the strap, it's exactly the same. You're absolutely right.
yeah. So like, okay, I totally get. I don't get the MacBook, but I get it in terms. I get it in terms of people. You know, there are people out there who want it. You know, people like Matt. And
I didn't say I'm going to buy it. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I
you
looked at
could.
it and I seriously thought about like getting it just because
Sure.
I need something small like that to carry around. I could get the Air as well, but I don't know if they're doing this.
Okay,
They
this is
might be
gonna,
replacing the Air.
you know what? I'm going to be making I'm going to make a full U-turn on what I said about the MacBook. I just thought about my laptop and what I do with it. Yeah, actually, I would buy the new MacBook. If I think about
Right.
what I do.
If we had the money.
If I had, yeah, exactly. If I had the money. If I had the
But,
money.
yeah,
If I had £1,500 to just blow on a new laptop, and I didn't have to worry about ports or anything, which I don't with that laptop,
big if though.
then yeah. I guess the only thing that would be really, really problematic for me would be the fact that like I do like having an external mouse even when I'm traveling, and I wouldn't be able to plug in power
And that's totally
Yeah.
legitimate. Like the ports issue is something I completely agree with. It should, and I understand that they had to cut down, but they should at least it should come with an adapter for God's sake. The adapter they sell
Oh
that's got 3
my.
ports on it is
Yeah.
$75.
70. Yeah,
Oh God.
yeah. That another thing. They did a build. Somebody did a build guide for the MacBook, and they were showing that if you wanted to have like just like a normal selection of ports and you wanted to use it normally, like first of all, like if you were going to use the adapter, you don't get the same amount of power going into the computer, and powered devices, like such as like some mice and stuff like that, you would have to get very specific mice and other bits and
Unless it's
pieces.
wireless.
Well, unless it's Bluetooth, yeah. In which case you can do.
That's one thing. You could get a Bluetooth mouse to work with your MacBook.
Yeah,
That's
that's a lot of Apple stuff works like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but the problem is that a lot of Bluetooth come with their own proprietary. I mean, like I've got this MX, the Performance MX mouse.
Yeah.
And it
They've
comes
got
with
a lot of their own
proprietary
stuff.
like Bluetooth.
You'd
shit.
probably have to buy one. You would probably have to buy a mouse specifically to work with your MacBook.
Yeah, but then,
And Apple sells them, but there are like other ones too.
again, if
Yeah.
you're willing to spend £1,500 on a laptop, you probably have $100 to spare on on some peripherals.
Exactly.
So.
Exactly. If you're looking for yeah, exactly. And I think they might be getting rid of the Air
They will.
because
like,
the Air
it makes
now
no
serves no
sense.
purpose.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like,
The Air is just a different price point for the MacBook.
The only
that's
reason
false.
why they brought the Air in the first place was to make MacBook redundant, because then MacBook in the last generation didn't exist.
Yep.
And now MacBook's back again. The Air can just fuck off.
Yeah.
So, no offense. It just
Yeah, the Air
has no
serves no
place.
purpose now.
The only thing I would have liked to seen is having another version of the MacBook which has maybe 2 or 3 ports on it. Because the thing is, the only thing I did like about the Air is that it did serve it was a shrunken down version of the MacBook Pro with like at least a few ports on it, which meant that you could have a fully fledged laptop which you could carry around and you could use it as a sort of a mini PC. But now you can't unless you get a fuckload of adapters.
But can you use it to play video games?
No, fuck off, Chris.
But that's not why you're buying it. Like if you're buying a MacBook or an Air,
I knew Chris
not
was about to say that. You can just see it in his face.
you can play video games on the MacBook Pro. I've done it. They work.
Yeah.
You know, as long as they support OS 10. And if not, you can install Boot Camp and play them.
Yeah,
I've done that.
I was saying to my friend the other day, he was like, I don't know whether to get a PC or a Mac Pro, and I was like, do you have the money for a Mac Pro? And he was like, yeah, of course. Well, that's why I'm asking the question. I was like, sure. And then I was like, what do you need to do on the Mac Pro? He's like, I do a load of video editing and stuff like that. I was like, dude, get a Mac Pro and then get Boot Camp. They got some they got some really good. They got some amazing hardware in those computers. They're a lot overpriced, but if you're going to use all that power, and you're going to be using Apple specific systems and software, then get that. Then don't bloody make a Hackintosh.
I mean, if that's what you want, then get it.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
See, now, I don't.
otherwise it's not what you want.
That's where I think Mac is useless.
Mac Pro.
I love Apple. I love OS 10. I love iOS. I don't think OS 10 should be a desktop OS. I just don't.
I
I don't.
actually really enjoy it as a desktop OS.
I don't know.
The iMacs,
Hmm.
I can see. I don't see the Mac Pro, and I didn't see the previous incarnation of the Mac Pro either. Because at that point, if you need a powerhouse like that, why don't you just build one that can be more efficient and
Yeah.
less expensive, or
Question-
build one for the same price and have it really more efficient?
Question is actually, I think we should probably be cutting this off in the next few minutes.
We are 2 hours
Yeah.
in, so.
Yeah.
Welcome to the MacBook and Windows chat.
Yeah.
Well, you guys talked about Bloodborne for 45 minutes. I don't want to hear it.
Did we?
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
you talk. I'm sorry. Nintendo and Bloodborne combined were probably about an hour,
Yeah, we finished at 53.
and I could not provide any input on any of those. So let me talk, Chris.
I've been
Okay.
talking for the last 2 hours. Let's just put it that way.
It's pretty much what's been happening.
Yeah.
What were you saying?
Sorry. Yeah. Well, last question from me. Is Mavericks a Apple-made product, or is it made by a third party?
Mavericks?
Yeah.
The OS?
OS Mavericks. Yeah.
Yeah, it's Apple.
It's Apple made. Okay, so Apple made it specifically for people who
It's-
want to build
well-
operating systems and then buy OS separately.
It's it's literally it's just the latest version of OS 10, just like
But Apple
Like,
made it so
it's-
that people could make their own PCs. Or did they do it, or was it pirated? That's what I'm wondering. Is it an official? Is Maverick?
it's
an
official. It's official. It's
Okay,
official.
sure. Right. Okay.
Yeah, it's official.
So what? do
Okay,
people
I
call
see
it
what your
Hackintosh?
question is now. Yeah, you're right.
So this is where I was wondering. Why do people still call it Hackintosh?
It's a Hackintosh because it's not a because the hardware that you're using is an Apple hardware.
Right. Okay. Whereas
Still.
Macintosh is actually using Intel and AMD and what?
You'll still be using that, yeah. But no, they have differences still.
Okay.
Well, Mavericks, I don't think that's not in. Is that how that's supposed to work? Because I know they released it, but I don't know if they support building your own Mac computers.
What's the whole point of Maverick? The only point of Maverick.
I know.
Is to
I've
be
just
able
now thought
to-
about that. Hold on.
I'm not going to wear this t-shirt ever again on these chats because this is such a baggy t-shirt. I have to keep on pulling up this shirt from the front to put it around the back, so it looks like I'm doing a bra or something every time.
Uh-huh.
I think I'm not actually sure. I know for a while you had to pay for OS upgrades for from Apple, and Mavericks was the first one where you didn't. So maybe they were selling it to people that hadn't upgraded previously. That way they wouldn't have to upgrade to Yosemite and
Sure.
then get the free upgrade to Mavericks. Or, I'm sorry, I think Yosemite came after Mavericks. I'm not up to date with the names, I apologize.
Okay.
But, yeah, I don't know. I don't think that... I think Hackintosh is... If you build your own PC and you install Mac on it, I think that's still, not supported by Apple. I don't think that was the purpose of it.
Okay, cool.
But I'm not certain. Yosemite's the newest one, is what I'm seeing now. So Mavericks was before Yosemite.
Sure. Okay, I think we should probably call it there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think what we're going to do with this episode is we will, once me and Matt start talking about the Apple and the computer stuff, we will cut it at the beginning of the video, and then we'll have a separate video, which is just me and Matt talking.
Okay,
for
pretty
that
much.
time, because basically we've been talking about that for a while now, and that has nothing to do with video games.
Yeah,
So
just, add an
A little
extra
bit.
off-topic video.
yeah, so I'll just have an off-topic video about it, and also because Matt, you will have more of a reason to be able to talk when you have a webcam which is functioning, because
No. No, I
now
would-
your
if you had
face is
I don't know,
the
I had nothing to
controller.
say in Bloodborne too.
If you had seen what I was literally laying back in my chair listening to you talk. I would have had nothing to input. It's maybe not so much with Bloodborne, but with Nintendo, I have nothing to talk
What
about.
I'm going to do is next week. Okay, so something I've been sort of lagging on with this week was that, or I've been trying to learn as I go. But I'm going to be compiling a list of, not just be compiling a list of articles, but I'm going to be sending you guys articles over the week, during the week, the ones that I'm reading. So
Okay.
if you read those, and then that means at least you'll be up to date with all of the information. Then if you feel that you don't feel comfortable with some of the topics, we can then I can structure the topics, and then people can come in and leave depending on when they want to do things.
Yeah, or we could just
So-
try and like keep them relatively concise.
We
Yeah.
just keep the yeah.
One thing we definitely
like,
discovered is it's easy to talk it's much easier to talk for a long time about certain things than you think at first.
Don't
It's easy to
don't
talk
take my Nintendo thing, and then because then we just
Yeah,
won't talk
no,
about Nintendo.
everyone likes their own thing. You know?
No. As in what I said. What I mean is that we would have like a segment where we
Yeah.
as in like Matt, you wouldn't join the conversation until like we finished the Nintendo chat, and then you would join us for a certain chat, like as if you were like a guest or something.
Oh, meh.
So you would join. So and then I would so if we're talking about Pillars of Eternity, which we'll probably do another time.
I don't
But,
see the
like,
difference. We still have to stick around.
You'd stick around for that. You'd stick around for the time you're talking, and then leave when you're not.
That seems like a lot more effort than what we're doing now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
but I mean, if you don't want to have the awkwardness of just sitting there, it wouldn't be
I think if we
not
just
awkward
keep
to
all
me.
I think if we just keep all the topics more concise, that will probably solve everyone's problem.
Alternatively, when you're not talking or whatever, we could just we'll sort something out. I'm sure we'll sort something out.
Yeah.
Anyway, guys, thank you for watching this video.
Yeah.
It's a very, very, very long video. Please like it if you enjoyed the topics and the discussion. Just dislike it if you thought that we were boring and we sucked. Leave a comment down below. I will try and
Give
get
them an
them.
excuse.
Don't
Don't give them an excuse.
Well, if they think that, then they think that. We need if leave your comments down below. Any feedback is great, and get some discussion going. Follow us on Twitter and on Facebook. You can use our website, which is www.keeptrackr.com, and discover more about video games and all the releases that are coming out over the next few years. And yeah, thanks for watching us, guys, and we'll see you next week, Saturday.
Okay. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Hello.